Guys, it's T-Man, and I'm back with a video. It's on Massive Iron, Steve Shaw. Yeah, man. Bumbaclot himself of the Bumbaclot fitness industry. Anyways, we're going to react to the gym, lifting, recruiting, fitness, gear slave himself. Steve Shaw, Massive Iron, says, Jeff Nippard Controversy. Is there any natty or not science? I don't know. Is there, dude?
Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron channel. I'm Steve Shaw. In this video, we're going to be talking about the Jeff.
Yes, welcome to the Massive Iron. Where's the Massive Iron? I don't see it.
Nippard Controversy, and answering the question, is there any science that shows us, do we know how big you can get naturally?
Is there a science that shows you how big you can get naturally? Let me see. How long can I get my bones naturally every time I break them and then I turn the screws in between to keep re-breaking the bone so that new bone can form in between the fucking bone? How much? How much is it, the industry? Let me see. How many times can I damage, right? Micro tear these these muscle fibers, okay, these sarcomeres and series and stuff. Myofibulars. How many times, man, I'm losing it, bro, because this guy's fucking making me upset. How many times can I micro tear the myofibular to see how much muscle I can build? These contractile proteins I can build. How many times can I break them until they never grow ever again? But why wouldn't they grow if I keep breaking them? See, if I'm able to still cause them to micro tear, why would they not keep growing? Only because I'm a lazy fuck. I don't want to eat anything. I don't want to be protein synthesis, the rate of protein synthesis to exceed that breakdown. See what I mean? You see how dumb this is, bro? The whole fitness industry runs on, I don't know, man, mental illness, bro. Get it? Like dumbness. It runs on dumbness. Dumb. A dum-dum is as a dum-dum says. A dum-dum is as a dum-dum does.
Before I dive into this question, if you guys need coaching, check out the link down below. Coaching is
No, I'm not checking your link, and I don't want to die.
All right. So, Jeff Nippard Controversy. Everybody's talking about natural potential.
Yes, Jeb Skimpard, yes. What about him?
Do we know how big you can get naturally? And I'm not going to get into...
How big can you get sarcoplasmic artificially? I don't know. There's no limit to the sarcoplasm. It can blow up to the point where you explode and die. That's all I know. So if it's sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, Steve Shaw, Massive Iron, duh. If it's sarcoplasmic, if it overtakes the myofibular growth, then I don't know how it goes. There's a channel, the Superhuman You guy. He's called the Bubble Method. Why don't you go check him out? He does that. He does the bubble method, okay? Is there a limit to the sarcoplasm, how far it can get big? No, there's no limit until you bust and die. Is there a limit how fat the fattest man in the world can get? Well, we've seen him get to 1,000 pounds. What happens after that? I don't know. He either busts and dies. See what I mean? Until the integrity of your body cannot sustain that amount of whatever, fluid or whatever, and then it busts and dies. Get it, dude? This is such a stupid-ass question. Anyways, whatever.
Jeff's video. You guys can watch his videos and react and watch all the reactions to the reactions and the reactions to the reactions to the reactions. In this video, I just want to present some information and some resources and some references for those of you guys that want to dive into natural.
Let me ask you a question. When you're trying to lengthen your bone, doing like this bone surgery, like breaking bones and then regrowing them, you think you could do it every day? You think you could break your bone and then bone forms every day in there after they pull these screws? When they turn these screws to break the bone and calcium, bone, whatever is supposed to form in between their new bone, you think they do it every single day? You think bone can break every day and then regrow bone every fucking day? You have to be a madman, a mad person to believe that. You can't break muscle fibers every day and expect them to fill out those broken spots, those broken spaces. They're going to fill out and elongate now because, well, yo, I just broke them and they're going to build magically. But here's the thing. Are you actually breaking them? Did you put enough tension on it to break it? Did you overwork it to break it, like a Glad garbage bag tie wrap? Did you bend the tie wrap maybe 100 times enough, bending it back and forth to cause it to break in half? Duh.
Potential, or
are you adapted to your exercises?
Explore some of the existing research, because yes, there is a quality amount of research in the field of natural muscle building potential.
There's quality field research. There's lots of research on everything. They just tell you what is happening there in the moment. That's all, bro. When they say muscles reach the muscle has reached the ceiling limit during what hypertrophic process? What was that hypertrophic process? Untrained first training satellite cell fusion. That's the hypertrophic process. The damaging effect when you first came in the gym. Okay, what happens after that? You got to create these damages again to get that same effect. Get it? To overcome the myonuclear domain size limit. Because in that one session, it can only donate so much nuclei in that one damaging session. So you need to repeat more damaging sessions to get more nuclei. You need to recruit more workers called nuclei, these factory workers, and then you need to exceed muscle protein breakdown, right? The material for the workers to build the muscle. If it doesn't have that, then there's nothing fucking to build there. Give me fucking break.
Regardless if the current science-based influencers or guys like Jeff Nippard or anybody else is actually paying attention to it. Now, I'm going to reference you guys to Dr. Casey Butt, B-U-T-T. Yes, a funny name, but way back in the day, I don't know, late 2000s, I was on Dr. Casey's forum, and he did an extensive amount of research on natural muscle building potential. What he did back in the day was exceptional. He put together a lot of information looking at 300 natural champions to give us some sort of an estimate or a reasonable goal or a reasonable standard or ballpark for what is possible naturally. Now, I've spent a lot of my career in the natural world, dealing with natural bodybuilders, interviewing natural bodybuilders, training with natural bodybuilders. We're talking a lot of champions, doing a lot of article features and interviews, and working with a lot of body transformation stories. Needless to say, I've been around a ton of top naturals that have basically maxed out their muscle mass. And I can tell you confidently,
you don't max out your muscle mass. Okay, the cell, that domain, that cell can only get so big. But we're trying to build more contractile proteins. You don't max them out. They're not maxed out. Dude, they're not maxed out. You have to cause them to break. You have to injure them. The more injuries they occur, the more chances they have to grow. Just like when you're injuring your bone in the lengthening procedure. You're lengthening your bone, you're injuring them by breaking them. Get it? And then they're regrowing. They go through a repair, and then they go through a remodeling. They remodel new bone. We want to remodel new contractile proteins. We don't want to just get mass called sarcoplasmic. We don't want a sarcoplasm like a balloon. Get it? And no, there's no limit there. You can keep going. Providing that the sugar in your body, the carbohydrates, exceed. There's an excessive amount of sugar in your diet where it will load as glycogen into the muscle and the liver, expanding the sarcoplasm. Get it? And you'll have these beautiful fake phony muscles, liquid muscles. Yes.
What I have seen in the real world in my
you gotta be careful with that.
Time in the industry completely aligns with Dr. Casey Butt's research.
Who gives a shit about them? They're stupid. They don't know anything.
Now, if you're unfamiliar with Dr. Casey Butt's research, or you've never heard it and you don't know where to begin, go over to ChatGPT and just search Dr. Casey Butt Natural Bodybuilding Potential.
I don't want to know.
Formula to kind of determine what you could expect naturally. I want to put a couple of caveats on this. I'm not putting this out there as some sort of a limit.
Right.
I never got into the natural muscle building potential study or the area of...
There isn't any. There is no limit. There's no fucking limit. Steroids are fucking cosmetic. That has nothing to do with you trying to build muscle, this natural thing you keep saying. That's you. It's incumbent upon you how much muscle you want to build. Keep breaking those fibers and keep eating. Make sure protein synthesis exceeds the rate of breakdown, and you'll keep building. You'll be in anabolic growth state. You'll cut off the catabolic hormone. You'll convert it to an androgen, so it doesn't have to compete with the myocytic androgen receptor, making you anabolic. You'll always be growing. You'll always be growing. Get it? You'll be anabolic. How did they make people anabolic? The burn victims. How did they make them anabolic? They gave them what? 36 raw eggs a day. 36 raw eggs. That's a lot of eggs, bro. 36 raw eggs. How much food do I eat down at the buffet? I don't eat 36 raw eggs down there, but how much do I eat? A lot. And how much do I eat after at home? I eat a lot at home. And how much do I eat for breakfast? I eat for breakfast. Get it? I'm anabolic all fucking day. If I want to regenerate, look young, whatever. I'm over... Look, dude, I'm pushing 60. I'm over 50. I'm pushing 60. You understand me? I'm old, bro. I have to eat a lot to regenerate my body. I need more amino acids. I gotta be anabolic. My body is not doing it for me anymore when I was in my 30s or 20s. Get it, broski? So, that has nothing to do with going to the gym. But if I want to go to the gym and build more myofibrillar contractile proteins, I'm going to have to go there and damage them. But it doesn't happen daily. It happens periodically. Christ.
Research to limit myself. It was actually quite the opposite. As somebody that started training in 1986, I wanted to know how big lifters could get naturally. During that era, everything was...
Holy shit, you're telling me I'm the same age as him? He's as old as me, 58? Fuck. Look at this guy, man. He's the mummy, bro. Give me fucking break.
Steroids. I was surrounded by steroid lifters everywhere. Tom Platz and Lou Ferrigno and Arnold and Menser and all of these guys.
Oh, I was surrounded by Menser, Arnold, and all these. Those people were doing it for a living, you dumbass. They were entertainers, entertaining. They don't have time for any natural lifting or anything like that. They're busy. They're making money, making movies, doing competitions. They're doing shit. You think people are gonna wait around for them? You're crazy, man. If you want to compete and do those things, then I suggest you should do whatever these fucking people are doing. You're wasting your time.
And there was no information about naturals, no real information about how big naturals could actually get. So this research, and I want to put this caveat.
There isn't anything out there for naturals or how naturals can get, how big naturals can get. There is no natural limit. There's no natural limit, bro. You understand me? There's no limit. Now, they will explain to you there's a limit when it comes to myofibrillar growth. When you're building these contractile proteins, they'll say at some point there's a limit there, okay? But it overcomes the limit. How does it do that? By giving you in parallel. And then once they get more in parallel, they get in series. Get it? It never fucking ends. It's dependent on you how much damage you cause to those myofibrillars to prompt them to remodel. Get it? Otherwise, they ain't gonna fucking remodel. They'll just repair if there's just very minor damage or whatever you're doing there in the gym. I don't know.
Get out there. This discussion is not to limit people. It is to set reasonable standards. When I talk about natural muscle building potential, we are talking about quality goals. And in my...
There is no natural building potential. There is no natural. He's making it up.
Experience, my personal experience in all my years of lifting, I haven't seen anybody beat Dr. Casey Butt's research.
No, because you're busy performing, and performance, bodybuilding cannot be a sport because it's not based on performance. It compromises sport performance because you're getting damaged, you fool. And you're going through repair and remodeling.
by more than a few ounces or a couple of pounds. It is a very, very realistic standard, and a very
this guy makes me so tired.
Accurate standard. The second caveat I want to put out there is that sometimes when we are talking about Dr. Casey Butt's research, you will hear voices out there that get very, very upset.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Because Dr. Casey Butt put together some information or guidelines on how big your arm size can get. And with arm size, there is a lot of variance. So in some cases, some guys are...
No, what happens is it becomes resilient. It becomes resistant from further assaults from your exercises. Okay, listen to this. There is no limit, okay? So, but what happens is this. So the muscle fibers, every time they get damaged, they come back stronger. So they convert to what is it? Type 3 to type 2 collagen fibers. So they're remodeling into a much more resilient, stronger type of collagen. And so that too strengthens the muscle fibers. So they are always going through, they'll go through a remodeling to strengthen themselves and prevent themselves from getting damaged and from growing. That's the problem. So why do we switch over? Let's say we start with full ranges of motion, overworking the muscle, trying to get it to damage, okay? We're newbie lifters. We don't know what we're doing. We're doing full range of motion and we're trying to damage the muscle fibers. So we do more of something. We keep doing more of something, okay? Overworking that muscle to get it to damage. Okay, now we move on to something more sophisticated. At some point, we may hit a wall. It's not whatever. We're not busting any more fibers. We move into something more superior. It's called eccentric overload. We start eccentrically overloading those muscle fibers to get them to damage and come back bigger and stronger, but they'll never grow if protein synthesis, the rate, never exceeds this breakdown. You get it, dude? They'll never grow. You'll never see growth ever.
You're going to beat that arm size or beat these arm size expectations. There are so many variables.
You'll start, if you're eating carbs, you'll start misconstruing that for being muscle, and it's just going to be glycogen. It's just going to be the sarcoplasm expanding because you're not exceeding that breakdown.
Involved with arm size. You can have bigger bone size. You can have...
Okay, so how will you know that you're actually putting on muscle? If you're such a poor eater and a bad lifter, how will you know if you're putting on muscle, damaging and then repairing, modeling, and building muscle? It's really easy. Stop eating any carbohydrate then. Just eat animal products. Eat the animal products, and that will show you whether you're building muscle or not. Doing your shitty exercises. If your exercises are good, if they're causing enough relative amount of damage, then maybe, yeah, you'll get this growth. And your food has to exceed that breakdown to see that growth. Now, if it's not exceeding that breakdown and you are damaging and there's no growth, whose fault is that? Mine or yours? Yours. Now, if let's say you're not getting damaged, but you are eating a lot and you don't see any growth, whose fault is that? Yours, not mine, because you're not damaging, but you're eating a lot. So get it? Vice versa. It's synergistic. It has to work together like a good melody.
Your peaks, etc., etc. So there are two types of avenues here, and sometimes when you bring up Dr. Casey Butt's natural muscle building standards, people get upset.
His natural building standards? What standards, bro?
Because they feel like, hey, I know a guy whose arm size naturally is a
whatever.
Step side.
Yeah. Because there's two types of hypertrophy, myofibrillar, sarcoplasmic, dude.
And natural muscle building potential or expectations. All right, so let's get in.
Let's go on.
By a couple pounds if they're a little bit heavier body fat percentage wise. So understand there's a little bit of variance possible here if somebody is trending towards a slightly higher.
I don't think so.
Dramatic. So we're looking at 5'10". Your natural bodybuilding potential or lean body mass potential is around 178.
Okay.
To 182. We will just round this to 180 to.
There is no potential, bro. There's no limit. He's just making it up.
Between you and.
He's making it up.
You subtract 4 to 5 pounds.
No.
These types of standards, and hey, you're limiting me, and I will state.
You're not. If you need to mass up, that's just the nuclei. They're going to come in there and help you mass up. But at some point, You need that, bro. You need to build. They can only mess up so far. You need contractile proteins, and then you need these nuclei, and then you get new cells, and then those cells mass up. Okay, that's how it works. Without the addition of contractile proteins, forget it. That's why everybody says, I reached this, what is it? Newbie gain limit, blah. The cell can only get so big. And it gets big, and then it doesn't get big anymore. It would retard itself if it did. This is just ridiculous. Muscle cells are not fat cells. They can't keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger forever. All right? That's why fat people are useless. It's just a hunk of junk running around. I'll see you in the next one, man. Tell us what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Again, another bullshit video.